What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So Kassadin, this is the champion from League of Legends I am going to be covering today. Last week I went through Kai'Sa and there was definitely a connection between the two in last week's review. So I mentioned that in that video, the next person I will be recovering is Kassadin. So what am I going to do today? I'm going to go through his story. I'm also going to go and review his skins. I'm going to go through his spotlight, login theme, special interactions and also a story if he has one as well. So yeah, let's kick things off with the bio. Let's go. Kassadin, the Void Walker. So, Kassadin started life as a lowly offcast, walking the harsh sands of the Great Sai along merchant caravans to draw predators away from their more valuable goods. So basically the guy's bait. Okay, great start. Great start on your CV. He survived many of these treks across the desert and began to serve less as bait and more as a guide. The foreign tongues that sought his talents, Kassadin, is it? Or where does the desert know? Or whom does the desert know, sorry. Ah, interesting. Often slurred their shurimen, and so he became formally known as Kassadin in the back alleys and markets of Belzan. Interesting. He spent many years exploring the ancient ruins of his homeland, making his employees exceedingly wealthy, but it wasn't until a dig near Zemira that he found a treasure of his own. What does he find? Okay, he fell in love with a woman from one of the desert tribes, so I wonder if this is Kai'Sa's mother. With his love and newborn daughter, it's setting up nicely, guys, it's setting up nicely for it. Kassadin settled in a small village in the rocky canyons to the south. He was on the road often, his work sometimes requiring him to accompany particularly valuable relics to some faraway sponsor. But no matter where his travels took him, Kassadin would always return with exciting tales from the world beyond. Journeying home from distant Piltover, Kassadin and his fellow caravanners were watering their beasts at an oasis when they encountered the first terrified survivors stumbling out of the desert. I wonder if this is to do with the Void. They spoke of the disaster that had claimed their homes, as if the maw of the underworld, itself had opened up to devour them. They had barely escaped with their lives. Fearing for his own family's safety, Kassadin left the others behind, riding hard, driving his mount almost to exhaustion. When he finally reached a place where his village had once stood, he found only shifting sand and rubble. He clawed at the debris until his hands bled, screaming out his wife and daughter's names, though no answer came. Days later, Kassadin's companions caught up with him, now just a broken and empty man weeping beneath the scorched sun. They dragged him back to Zirma, but Kassadin would go no further. For years he tried to drown his grief, reduced to little more than a vagrant, until word reached town of the Prophet. So, I think this prophet is Malzahar. Whispers of unspeakable horrors that dwelt beneath the earth and the sacrifices made in their name chilled Kassadin to the bone. He knew well the legends of old Ichthia, or Ichthia. Yeah, I'm terrible, my name's so bad. And the fate that befell that accursed place. If the Void had been deliberately drawn towards Shurima once more, then it had likely been the death of his entire village and countless more besides. He also knew that there were few, if any, who could stand against it. Okay. In that moment, Kassadin swore that he would avenge his wife and daughter by destroying this insidious prophet. Ah, okay. And the source of his abysmal power. He was a man who had made his living by finding safe passage through the most dangerous places and resolved to arm himself with the most arcane and esoteric weapons ever known in Valorant. Right, okay, so maybe from Piltover. Fused his all-night ingenuity and blessed with Ionian spirit healers. Okay, he called in every favour he could, from scholars of antiquities to common smugglers, for their help in inquiring what he saw. Many called him a madman, believing that the last time they would ever see their old friend alive. Kassadin merely thanked them for their concern and bid them farewell. He would face the Void alone. Last of all, he stole the infamous nether blade of Horok, the sword that had slain 1,000 deceivers in the latter days of the Empire. Okay. He could feel the cold pull of oblivion in its edge, but no longer had any regard for his own mortality, and nothing of his old life left to lose. Absolutely. And his family's all dead. Disguised in the robes of a pilgrim, more than a decade since he had last set foot anywhere near the desolate land, Kassadin made his way to Icathia. I'm going to go with. He would go nowhere no man was ever meant to walk. He would have his vengeance, even if it killed him. Right, okay, interesting bio, interesting start to Kassadin, and maybe in the story we get a little bit more development of how we get to this look we see here. Because I was certain based on this he was kind of possessed by the void as well, similar to how Kaiser was. But it sounds like obviously he's acquired all these different things, fused his Zornite ingenuity and blessed with Ionian spirit healers. Interesting. He's got an interesting story, to put it that way, at least so far from what I've read. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll dive into the skins and then we'll move on to maybe the story. Let's go. Okay, so this is the skins for Kassadin. This is in his original skin, which is madness. Madness, it clearly is an update from his original skin, if you know what I mean. It's a touch-up anyway, because it looks a lot better. It looks a little bit like Shredder, actually, from Mutant Ninja Turtles. Cutting a burning sway through the darkest places of the world, Kassadin knows his days are numbered. A wildly travelled Shuriman guide and adventurer, which we found out in the bio, he had chosen to raise a family along the peaceful southern tribes until the day his village was consumed by the void. He vowed vengeance, combining a number of arcane artifacts and forbidden technologies for the struggle ahead. Right, okay. Finally, Kassadin set out for the wastelands of Icathia, ready to face any monstrous void construct in his search for the self-proclaimed prophet Malzahar. Right, okay, so he's been told that Malzahar's a leader of this void, and this void has killed his family, so I like it. Okay, there's me thinking that, initially at least, Kassadin was kind of like a minion of the void. He was controlled by the void. It's nice to see that obviously he isn't. He's got his own agenda, his own personality. He controls himself, and clearly he's got some vengeance. He's got some beef there with Malzahar for what's happened to him. So yeah, I like it. I like it so far. Pre-void, right? Okay. So this is strange. So pre-void Kassadin, no bio for this, but this is kind of the lore I was expecting. Similar to Kaiser, you know, this is Kassadin, and then he gets infected by the void, and then that's the Kassadin we know today. But by the sounds of it, in his original Kassadin skin, it sounds like he vowed vengeance, combining a number of ancient arcane artifacts and forbidden technologies for the struggle ahead. It sounds like he's kind of done it to himself. Okay. So the next one, let's get rid of that. The next one is Harbinger. Okay, Harbinger. I like that one as well. You can tell it's kind of an old or an original skin. Nice detail though. Looks it, and that one skin that reminds me a little bit of Predator. But okay, I like that one. Feeling, look at the size of the blade there as well. Overkill. Wow. Next one, Cosmic Reaver. Popping. Born before the kindling of the stars, Kassadin stands alone in space, vast void. He watches over all things, a sentinel awaiting the end of this universe and the beginning of the next. Wow. That's a jump. That's a jump. That skin is... yeah, that skin's nice. Okay, even better. Shockblade Kassadin. As High Priest of the Shockblade Order, Kassadin has a deep connection to the storm few understand, maybe apart from Volibear, but all respect. It is the power of his station that allows the Shockblades to follow their targets in and out of the spirit realm, going where no one else can to protect the people under their charge. Wow, okay. It's kind of like a cross between, in terms of his look, Zed and Shen. And also his abilities in terms of the spirit world, it said there as well. Nice. Okay. Any more? Yes, we do. We've got Legacy Vault, Festival. Reigning from his frozen throne On a lonely mountain, Kassadin prepares in secret for a special festival, as you do, hidden deep, hidden deep in the icy waters. Whether it's a winter sports festival, okay, yep, skiing, snowboarding, all this that good stuff. Nobody can say it except for the attendees who think he's being ridiculous. Yeah, I agree, it does sound kind of ridiculous. That bio does not match the look of that skin, but there we go. Next one, Deep One. Kassadin vanished at sea over 50 years ago. Whatever you saw down there, if you did see anything, it can't have been the same man I watched fall into the drink. And if it was, God help us all. That's kind of a mashup. Kassadin and kind of, not the Shadow Isles, Bilgewater. The Bilgewater kind of vibe as well is not something I would have put together, but okay, I'm feeling it. And then we have, wow, okay, Count Kassadin. Grim, lonely man who lives on a grim, lonely street. Kassadin is the one whom all kids avoid on All Hallows Eve, for in his presence there is no treats, nor sweets to be found. Sounded a little bit like Scrooge. Okay, once again, another amazing skin. Yeah, that is a really good skin. You could easily mistake that though for Vladimir, couldn't you, in a way? But yeah, okay. Then we have Hextech. Right. So maybe this is kind of, I'm going to say maybe this is how he looked pre-Void, as in before going to fight Malzahar. Engrossed in his work to the point of near obsession, Kassadin vanished for some time into the bowels of the Labyrinth workshop, disappearing from public life for years. When he emerged, he received a shocking Hextech innovation to the world, his own body fully integrated with their technology he so loved, a little bit like Victor. But yeah, this is what I'm going with. This is basically how he looks after his family have died at the end of his bio. Maybe when we read one of his stories, we will get the Kassadin that we kind of obviously accustomed to seeing today. Cool. So that's that one. And then is there any more? No, there's no more. So if I was giving you my top three, well, look, for starters, shout out to the revamp on his base skin. That looks nice. Let's put it that way. That looks nice. Yeah, but in third place, it would have to be this one. This would be number 3, Cosmic Reaver. This one is so good, so good. It would have been my number 1, but it isn't for this reason. This one is number 2. This one is really good. I like this one, and I'm really feeling the mini lore that they've got for this skin as well. So much of the lores that come with the skins from League of Legends does seem ripe for exploring. It's got so much content, so much good content. And then the final one, number 1, has to be this one, Count Kassadin. Yeah, just everything about it, the background. Yeah, really interesting play on his look. I wasn't expecting anything like a Count Dracula and a vampire. Yeah, just works. So yeah, they're my top 3 skins. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to his story. Let's go. In fact, no, let's go to his login theme first. Let's go. Right, okay guys, he doesn't have a login theme, which is, I don't know how. It's criminal. How can he not have a login theme? So he looks like one of the few champions that I'm reviewing that doesn't have one. He also doesn't have a spotlight. Let's just have a look here. Wow. He doesn't have a spotlight, and I don't think I checked before, he doesn't have any special interactions as well. So, yeah. On a little side note, this is what frustrates me to a certain extent about League. The amount of champions they release, in my opinion, they release too many champions. Maybe there should be 2 or 3 champions max a year. They release too many, and the result of releasing, in my opinion, too many champions per year, it dilutes the champions that already exist in terms of their lore. They can't go back and tweak, expand on their lore as well. How can you have Kassadin? How can you have Kassadin and you not have login theme, spotlight, special interactions? Yeah, okay, so we won't be doing any of them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into his story, and then I might find another kind of spotlight to go through at the end of the video. Let's go. Okay, so this is Kassadin's story. Whom does the desert know? And we can see Kassadin here. Right. Okay, so maybe this is his first interaction with Malzahar, who I think, if it is, we'll cover next. So, Shurima is dying. I do not think she will rise again. The emptiness that rives in the very bones of my homeland is a malignant, unspeakable thing. It spreads, it devours. Its merced touch is death. 1,000 deaths, 1,000 times 1,000 times 1,000. Perhaps once there were some who could stand against it and hope to prevail. But no longer. Okay. I walk here alone in the darkest places beneath the world, and I see it with my own eyes, though the finely crafted lenses of my helm. Through. What is seen cannot be unseen, and what is known cannot be forgotten. Not here. I am weary, so very weary. Still, I walk. Okay, so I'm taking it maybe he's down in the layer now. Maybe he's down in the depths of the void. I can no longer feel the ground beneath me. Okay, nor the bare rocks of the cavern walls. But so too, I am spared the worst of the numbing winds that rise from the depths. I give thanks for that, for truly this is a chill beyond the desert's night. I've sat upon the endless pain of the whatever that is beneath the first moon of winter, and yet never known anything like this. It is a deep cold of the void. Yeah, then thinking about it, if someone was to say to me, is the void cold or hot, what would you think? Yeah, okay, it makes sense that it's cold, but I would have thought it would have been hot. With which the ancients in their ignorance might have named as their underworld and the source of all evil in the mortal realm. The truth is worse, I think. The air itself feels wrong and unnatural, throbbing with a fierce purple unlight that pains the mind, and for the shadows that even my eyes cannot pierce, you come. 3, 4, maybe 5, it is difficult to say. 100 and more of your kind I have faced and slain. Your howls echo in the gloom, but I do not fear you, for you have already taken everything I ever had. This is the thing. You take everything from someone, they've got nothing left to lose, have they? My wife, my beloved, my daughter, our Binsky, our little explorer, which I'm still hoping is Kaiser. Yeah, I call out their names as I always do to remind myself why it is that I fight. Then I raise my gauntlet. For all your teeth and your claws and your ravenous rage, you cannot defeat me. Either I will strike you down back to the pit, or you will send me into the hereafter, and I will finally be at peace. I will be with them once more. Either way, I will win. No, you cannot defeat me. You who are, whatever that is as well, the beast of the last infinity. Okay. In my other hand, I clutch the stone tightly. What stone? Its foreign magic has kept me alive this long enough to delve far, far beneath the wastelands of old Ikathia. It holds your corruption at bay, kind of like the holy water that Yorick has, though at what cost to my flesh and my spirit? Okay, I cannot guess, for the smallest of trinkets now thrums in time with my own heart. That fearful rhythm is not the pulse of life or magic or any other wholesome thing, but of oblivion itself. Of that much I am certain. Back, beast, stay back. The Neverblade snaps out from my gauntleted waist. Or wrist. Okay, maybe, yeah, okay. It could come from the waist. Into the air between us. Yes, you know this weapon, don't you? You all remember it. So what if it's got some history prior to Kassadin wielding it? Where only moments ago you hungered for my flesh, now you worry. Now you hesitate, you circle. Those of you that have eyes cannot take them from the blade's shimmering edge. Even you must know, I think, that this thing was not made for mortal hands or mortal souls. It was made by clever magic, by men who were no longer men, and who now are nothing at all. Would you remember them too? I wonder. So clearly this was built prior to Kassadin obviously using it clearly to fight the void as well. You screech and hiss and stamp at the uneven ground. It would be easy to imagine that you hate all living things, but you do not hate us, I think. Not truly. You do not know what hate is. Hate is the fire that burned in the immortal hearts of the god warriors when they saw your kind spilling out into the world. So maybe it's the god warriors that built this weapon. Hate was what drove you against them, against you again and again, though you knew it would almost certainly be their doom. Yes, this weapon remembers you. It remembers how to end you. Right, okay. Okay, so Horok, I think it is. Horok was that struck the first telling blow against your masters. Great and mighty Horok and the ascended host, whose name shall live forever. Okay. He is the finder of hidden ways and the one who follows after. It was Horok who first dared to face you down here in the darkness, away from the light of the sun that has given him his strength. Okay. It was Horok who first bore the nether blade unto the void's vile heart. Who could this be then? And it was Horok who showed his brothers and sisters how to defeat the abyss. I am no ascended hero of Shurima. Right, no god warrior to be remembered in the grand halls of the ruined empire. I am but a man. I am a grieving father and a child of the Sai in my own time. From the dust I came, and to the dust I shall return soon enough. But for now, okay, but not yet. For now, I walk as Horok once walked, and do this with his blade held out before. The closest of you lunges, horned shell and razor-sharp talons graze my side as I twist away, breath rasping through the pipes of my mask. For a moment I am blind, trapped inside this meagre armour suit of my own devising. Okay? Then I bring the nether blade up sharply, cleaving through what on any other creature would be called a neck. So that creature's dead. The sinuous body crashes down, and I feel the weapon's aching hunger in my sword arm, in the sourness of the back of my tongue, like the aftertaste of a scream. Who will be next? Which of you will try? The desert knows Horok. His name shall live forever, even when he was betrayed by the tyrant. Okay, we get some backstory here. Nizuk, to his death. None will claim the bladed gauntlet from Horok's wrist. So how did he get it then? As far as the God Warriors had fallen, even they could not deny that these lands might be threatened by the Voidborn once again, in some unseen future, and this weapon should be ready. Okay, this is my land. Such horrors walk here now openly, and I cannot allow it. I will plunge this blade into the creeping nothingness beneath Shurima, as I have a dozen times before. So, was it destiny? No, nothing so noble as destiny. It was fated, I think, that I knew where this thing might be found, so we're going to find out where it came from. I led the Echibi treasure seekers to Horok's mausoleum on the banks of the Karlik many years ago. Back then I sought nothing more than the Piltovian gold, right, because obviously he was an explorer and kind of he was a deliverer of unique artifacts, wasn't he? Shout out to Ezreal. So that I might provide for my family. I gladly helped break open the tomb that had remained sealed for thousands of years. The Neverblade was not the prize Enchibe sought, but they deemed it valuable all the same. Okay, some in the tribes called me mercenary, some called me a traitor. All I know is, in the strange days since then, Horok's mausoleum had been utterly consumed by the enemy. Were it not for those treasure seekers and the bounty they paid me, this weapon would now be lost, like my people, my family. Okay, unlike them, when the time came, the blade was something I could find again. Kassadin, whom does the desert know? The desert does not know you, beast. You are not welcome here. You are lost in this ancient land of gods and men. But the desert knows my name, for that is my name. Not once have I lost my way. I know exactly where I am and how many more paces it would be to the doom of all things. I will atone for what I have done and that which I have not. Okay, that's a line. And I will defy you until the end. I will atone for what I have done and that which I have not. Wow. And I will defy you until the very end. Right, so we get a little bit more now details of Kassadin, his backstory, how he gets these weapons. Clearly now he is, as it is in the picture at the top, he is in the belly of the beast. So I wonder if he's going to find Malzahar down here or something else. But really good to read that. No confirmation of if Kaisa is his daughter or even just a family member or relative or even from the same tribe or not. Either way, it's ripe, isn't it? It's ripe for some kind of connection between the two. They join up. They've kind of got the same motivations as well. They see the Void as their enemy. Kind of similar reasons. You know, her family member and people she loved has died, and it's the same for Kassadin as well. So yeah, just once again, it's just lore sitting there on the table, ready for someone to run with it. And hopefully one day they do. Anyways, yeah, that was good. Whom does the desert know? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to finish off with his spotlight, or at least a version of his spotlight. Let's go.
Can we... Ah, my voice.
Yeah, so this is... Can we talk about this from Kassadin? He's got quite a few Can We Talk About champions. So, let's go.
This isn't back yet. Can we talk about this? A lot of champions are going under right now, and it's kind of scary. Having your favorite character be swept from under your feet in order to be replaced by something completely different kind of sucks.
What? What? That was the...
Having your favorite...
Okay. So that was the original design for Yorick. That's worse than the original design for what's he called? What's he called? Solomon, basically Solomon Grundy, innit? What's he called? I'll put an image up on the screen so you know what I'm on about. But yeah, that's shocking. Looking like some out of Ghostbusters there. Jesus Christ.
Favorite character be swept from under your feet in order to be replaced by something completely different?
It is completely different, but it's for the better.
Kind of sucks. Remember when Scion used to be a burst mid-lane mage?
Wow.
Or when Poppy was a hybrid super character that can one-shot the backline? Or when Ezreal was a 6'4" black man? Those were the days. But in growth, sometimes you must be out with the old and in with the new. And reworks are meant to serve that purpose. Taking irrelevant champions and literally giving them a new life. Main mage. Or when... Sometimes you must be out with the old and in with the new.
That's better.
And reworks are meant to serve that purpose. Taking
previous lore, you know. He was a See, he was a golem. Golem, where? One of such visions was... Bro, that is shocking. Okay.
Relevant champions and literally...
So much better.
Giving them a new life. The reworks aren't bad. In fact, most of them are good. They're really good.
His lore's trash, though. Yeah, Fiora's good. I like Fiora.
They're really fucking good. Some of these characters are so great that they get nerfed into the ground and lose relevance, eliminating the purpose of the rework to begin with.
True.
But I digress.
True.
Because some characters remain untouched, waiting in the depths of the void for their chance to fall back into the meta. Why is Kassadin still Kassadin? Everything he classifies as has been changed, but somehow he remains untouched. Remember the mage rework? Nope, not a single sign of him. And here we're thinking, oh, it's because he's an assassin, right? Boom! Forgot him in the assassin rework as well. Is he just hiding in the void when Riot hands out reworks?
Yeah,
whatever. Let's just
like I said before, the guy has no login theme, he has no spotlight, and he has no special interactions.
Into his kit. Kassadin's passive is to take 15% less magic damage while being able to not collide with units. That's right, if you're a mage and you just started the game, he's stronger than you without buying a single item. Imagine you fighting someone butt naked, but he has a shield. And that's not it. His Q is a point-and-click damaging ability that can interrupt channels, but also grants him a shield for magic damage. Going back to the naked guy with a shield analogy, now he has two. But one of them has a gun on it. Kassadin's W passively grants you a tiny bit more magic damage on your auto attacks. The passive bonus damage doesn't scale too great. The active, however, is the bread and butter of his kit. His W empowers his next auto attack to deal up to 140 plus 70% of his AP as damage. And since he builds a Lich Bane, this enhances the already empowered auto attack into this, granting him a nuke if he ever gets close to you. And he will. I'll explain that in a second. Kassadin's W also restores up to 8% of his missing mana if he hits a minion. But if he hits a champion, he restores not double, not triple, but quintuple the amount, regenerating up to 40% of his missing mana. What? And I'll explain why that's important in a second. Kassadin's E is an AoE cone ability that deals another decent amount of damage in a cone in front of him. It also slows you for up to 90%. Oddly enough, in order to use this ability, Kassadin has to be in the vicinity of 6 abilities being used. Meaning if you use an ability near Kassadin, you're actually putting the nail in your own coffin. To put it simply, in the words of Bobby Green, my 8th grade bully, stop hitting yourself. Now for the one thing that makes Kassadin relevant. The ability that turns Kassadin from a bazooka to a bazooka with really strong legs. Kassadin's ult is a blink ability with more range than flash. Upon landing at his target location, Kassadin deals AoE magic damage. Now here's the complex bit. Every continuous use of this ability within 15 seconds makes it cost double the mana. However, it also grants bonus damage based on the amount of times it's been used, starting at 120 plus 30% of his AP plus 2% of his max mana on the first stack, and getting to this. I'm not saying that first one was already really hard to say. And with no CDR at all, it gets down to a 2-second base cooldown. Kassadin isn't meant to be a team fighter. He's not meant to be an objective taker or anything besides a fucking nuke that eats unexpected squishies from the backline. In short, going against Kassadin is a lot like going to a bar during happy hour. You can expect a ton of cheap shots. Thank you for watching this week's episode of Can We Talk About This? If there's something else you want to talk about, leave it in the comment section.
That was good. That was really good. That was a really good spotlight. I've got everything I needed from that spotlight, plus a lot of laughs as well. Yeah, I once recently watched Fake Couple of Kassadin, and yeah, them flashes are just something else. But yeah, okay, good to go through his abilities. I've never played Kassadin. I've played against him a couple of times, but it's good to actually go through and see his abilities and how they perform and how they how they work. That's not the word, but anyway, you know what I mean. And this guy's really good as well, actually. So you want to talk about this? I think I've only reacted to maybe only one other of his champion reviews in this format. But going forward, I will definitely be doing a few more because this was hilarious. This was really good. So anyway, yeah, I think I'll leave it here today, guys, on this one. Unfortunately, no login theme, no spotlight, no special interactions. But what I give you today, hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you got something from it. And if you did, feel free to let me know. Feel free to like, comment, and maybe also subscribe for more content like this. I think next week, I'll probably go through Malzahar. Next Thursday, I'll do Malzahar because this is the guy, who Kassadin is trying to find. So maybe we get some connection between the two of them in Malzahar's story. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next one.